Welcome back to the channel, the place where we break down human behavior so you can understand it, apply it, and never get caught off guard again. Today's topic sits right at the intersection of evolutionary biology, social psychology, and raw human nature. We're exploring what women actually notice in men, not what they say they notice, because those answers are often shaped by social expectations. Instead, we're focusing on what science shows they pick up on before a single word is spoken. Multiple peer-reviewed studies in evolutionary psychology, including research from the University of California, the University of Liverpool, and the London School of Economics, have identified the exact physical cues women use to evaluate a man's genetic fitness, social dominance, and health within the first few seconds of seeing him. The results are fascinating. Some are obvious, others go against intuition, but all of them are things you can actually improve. Let's get into it. We'll start with something that might genuinely surprise you. Hands. Not your face, not your abs, your hands. Picture this. A woman is sitting across from a man on a first date. The conversation flows well, but she keeps glancing, almost unconsciously, at his hands. She doesn't know why, and she'd probably never admit it, but beneath the surface, her brain is running a detailed scan on them. Why? Because in evolutionary psychology, a man's hands act as a high-resolution record of his biological past. A 2016 study published in Evolution in Human Behavior found that women consistently rate men with longer fingers as more attractive, especially in both short-term and long-term contexts. The ratio between the ring finger and index finger, known as the 2D to 4D ratio, is a biological indicator of prenatal testosterone exposure. Men with lower ratios, meaning longer ring fingers, tend to display more traditionally masculine physical and behavioral traits. But it goes beyond that. Women also notice the texture and condition of a man's hands. Research in social cognition suggests that rough, worked hands signal competence at a history of physical labor, traits historically linked to provider status. On the other hand, clean, well-maintained hands communicate discipline and self-care. Neither is universally better, it all depends on context. Your hands speak before you do, they quietly tell your story, and she's picking up on it. Then there's how you use them. A 2014 study from the University of Hertfordshire found that men who gesture naturally and confidently while speaking are perceived as more intelligent and emotionally trustworthy. Not exaggerated or chaotic gestures, just controlled, natural movement. It signals engagement and presence. The takeaway is simple. Pay attention to your hands in social settings. Are they hidden, stiff, or open, relaxed, and expressive? A small adjustment here can make a big difference. Number 4, your jaw. This is one of the most scientifically supported aspects of male attractiveness. Imagine two men entering the same event. They're dressed similarly, have comparable height and build, but one immediately draws more attention from women across the room. Women seem to gravitate toward him. Why? His jawline. A defined, structured jaw is a powerful subconscious signal of testosterone levels and genetic health, something the female brain is wired to detect. A landmark study from the University of St. Andrews using facial morphing technology found that women consistently rate men with more angular and defined facial structures as more dominant and physically healthy, especially in short-term contexts. But here's where it gets more interesting. The same research showed that preferences shift depending on the situation. For long-term partners, women often lean towards slightly softer, more symmetrical faces, features associated with warmth and cooperation. This is known as the good genes versus good dad trade-off in evolutionary biology. High testosterone may signal strong genetics, but it can also correlate with lower tendencies for long-term bonding. So every time she looks at your face, there's a complex, unconscious evaluation happening. She's not just seeing your appearance, she's reading a biological report shaped over millions of years. Symmetry also plays a role. It signals developmental stability, meaning your body handled environmental stress well during growth. Across cultures, more symmetrical faces are consistently rated as more attractive. You can't change your bone structure, but you can influence how it's perceived. Posture plays a huge role. Slightly lowering and projecting your chin forward, keeping your neck long and your head level, all of these small adjustments change how your face is seen. Subtle, but powerful. Number 3, and now we get into something deeply primal. Imagine thousands of years ago, before language and modern society. A woman's survival depended on quickly identifying which man was strongest, healthiest, and most capable. She didn't have time to think. Her brain relied on visual shortcuts. One of the most important, your shoulder-to-waist ratio. A 2007 study published in the Proceedings of the Royal Society B found that across cultures and age groups, the most attractive male body type is the inverted triangle, broad shoulders tapering down to a narrower waist. This shape signals high testosterone during development, which is linked to strength, immune function, and genetic quality. It's one of the most honest signals the male body can give. But here's the key. How you carry those shoulders matters just as much as their actual size. A 2010 study from UC Berkeley showed that men with open, expansive posture were rated as significantly more attractive than men with closed, contracted posture, even if their builds were similar. Open your shoulders, open your chest, taking up space naturally. This communicates confidence and security. The most attractive part of your shoulders isn't their width, it's how you carry them. Number 2, your eyes. And not in the way most people think. It's not about color or conventional beauty. It's about behavior. Imagine two men meeting the same woman. One maintains steady, calm, warm eye contact. The other keeps looking around, breaking eye contact, glancing down. Even if the second man is more conventionally attractive, she'll likely think about the first one afterward. Why? Because eye contact triggers powerful neurological responses. A 1989 study by Kellerman, Lewis, and Laird found that maintaining mutual eye contact for 2 minutes significantly increased feelings of attraction, even between strangers. Eye contact builds connection. Then there's pupil dilation. The subconscious mind is highly sensitive to it. Dilated pupils signal interest and arousal, and studies show faces with slightly larger pupils are consistently rated as more attractive, even when people don't consciously notice the difference. Your eyes reveal your level of engagement. In just a few seconds, they communicate presence, confidence, and emotional stability. What she's really reading is this: are you here, fully present? Are you comfortable holding this moment? The takeaway is practice soft, sustained eye contact, not staring, gazing. A stare feels intense or aggressive. A gaze feels attentive and calm. Learn that difference and use it in everyday interactions. And finally, number 1, the most overlooked factor of all, your walk. Not your face, not your body, the way you move. In 2007, researchers at the University of Groningen conducted a fascinating study. Women were shown animated figures, just dots of light representing joints in motion. No faces, no features, no clothing, just movement. And yet women were still able to consistently rate which figures were more attractive. The results were remarkably accurate and strongly aligned with real-world attractiveness. The most attractive movements shared specific traits: a relaxed, fluid upper body, a controlled, unhurried pace, and a subtle, natural swagger, not exaggerated. This means that before she notices anything else, your face, your outfit, your voice, she's already formed an impression based purely on how you move. Your walk is a direct reflection of your internal state. It reveals your confidence, stress levels, and sense of self. A 2011 follow-up study confirmed that men whose walking patterns indicated lower stress levels were rated as more attractive. It makes sense. Someone who moves calmly and without tension signals safety, confidence, and control. And the best part, your walk can be trained. It's closely tied to your nervous system. When you slow your breathing, relax your body, and stop rushing, your movement naturally changes. The most attractive walking style includes 4 things: a steady, unhurried pace, relaxed shoulders with natural motion, a slight forward lean from the hips, not slouching, and clear direction. Move like you know where you're going, even if you don't. Next time you walk into a room, slow down slightly, relax your shoulders, let your arms swing naturally, breathe. Carry yourself like you belong there, and watch how people respond. So there you have it, the 5 body parts women subconsciously evaluate: your hands, jaw, shoulders, eyes, and your walk. But here's the deeper idea tying all of this together. Women aren't just evaluating how you look, they're reading your psychology through how you look. Every signal on this list, your gestures, your posture, your gaze, is a reflection of internal states like confidence, stability, health, and emotional presence. That's what they're really picking up on. The physical traits are just the language. The real message is internal. So the most powerful thing you can do isn't obsess over appearance. It's to develop the internal qualities that naturally shape how you carry yourself. When a man is grounded, healthy, present, and purposeful, his body reflects it automatically. The signals take care of themselves. Build the life and the walk follows. Build the confidence and the gaze follows. Build the man and everything else speaks for you. If this gave you something to think about or something you want to apply, hit like and subscribe. We post new content every week breaking down the psychology of human behavior so you can better understand the invisible forces shaping your interactions. Let me know in the comments which of these 5 surprised you the most. I read them all, and your feedback shapes what comes next. And have you ever picked up on how some women don't flirt in an obvious or direct way? Instead, they quietly test your awareness, especially when you're a man over 50. Around you, their behavior shifts. They don't want to come across as needy, and they definitely don't want to seem too easy, so they choose a different approach. They ask certain questions instead. And here's what most men fail to realize. When a woman feels attracted to an older man, she will almost always ask 2 very specific questions. It's like a signal hidden in plain sight. Before I reveal them, do me a quick favor. Tap the like button and comment if you've ever missed a woman's signal and only understood it later. Your engagement helps this reach more men who actually need to hear it. Many men over 50 assume they're invisible to women, whether younger or their own age, but the reality is the opposite. Mature men often become more attractive when they truly understand how women think. The issue isn't women, it's misunderstanding. It's going through life believing she's just being polite, when in reality she was inviting you closer. Women rarely express interest in a direct way. Instead, they observe your emotional calm, your presence, and your ability to notice subtle cues. Feminine psychology operates in layers, and when a woman begins to see you as someone she can trust, emotionally, physically, even intimately, her energy shifts. It moves from casual conversation into intentional curiosity. She starts asking questions designed to uncover 3 things: your strength as a man, whether you're steady and secure, your emotional and practical availability, and your awareness, whether you can recognize genuine interest when it's there. This is exactly when the 2 key questions show up. But to really understand why they matter, you need to grasp the psychology behind them. Many men over 50 expect clear, direct signals because they grew up in a time when communication was more straightforward. But women today, even mature women, express attraction differently. They don't say, "I'm attracted to you," or "I want to get closer," or "I'm thinking about you romantically." Instead, they explore. Women tend to ask carefully framed questions to figure out whether you're someone they can move toward without risking rejection, because there's a quiet fear, especially with older men. If she shows too much interest too openly, she worries he'll see her as needy, so she hides her attraction inside curiosity. She places it into questions that seem harmless, unless you're paying attention, and if you miss them, she usually won't repeat them. Women rarely offer the same emotional invitation twice. Feminine psychology is layered. Women use questions the same way men use actions. When a man is interested, he offers help, direction, or protection. When a woman is interested, she asks questions that suggest closeness. There are many questions a woman might ask in everyday conversation, but only 2 consistently appear when she's gently exploring intimacy with a mature man. I'll share them shortly, but first, understand this. She's not asking to gather information, she's asking to feel something. She wants to sense, is he calm? Is he grounded? Is he open to my presence? Does he stand confidently in his masculinity, or does he hide behind politeness? These questions aren't about facts, they're about connection. They create a small pull between you and her, like emotional bridges she carefully places to see if you step forward with awareness. And when you do, something shifts inside her, both mentally and physically. Most men respond to these questions literally, at face value, but a more grounded man understands the deeper meaning behind them. Because when she asks, she isn't collecting data, she's checking alignment, she's testing your awareness, she's seeing whether you notice what's beneath the surface. When a woman feels drawn to you, she doesn't need displays of money, strength, or stories. What she needs to feel is that you are present, calm, and conscious. These two questions matter because they aren't random, they're invitations. The first question is designed to reveal one thing: your availability. Not your schedule, your emotional openness. She wants to feel whether there's space for her in your life. It's not practical, it's psychological. It's her way of asking, are you open or closed? Can you connect, or are you hiding inside routines? Is there room for me to come closer without feeling pushed away? Women don't like investing emotional energy where there's no return, so before revealing deeper interest, they test for openness. Most men completely miss this because they think she's just making conversation. But the second question focuses on your direction, not your job or goals, but your inner sense of purpose. She wants to know if you're anchored. Women don't open up to men who drift. They open up to men who feel grounded, men who know who they are and where they stand. Through this question, she's asking, is he emotionally alive? Does he carry stability? Can I feel safe in his presence? Does he have direction, or is he just floating through life? It's not about details, it's about your core. When she asks, she's imagining what it would feel like to be close to you. These two questions carry even more weight for men over 50. At that stage, many women assume you've already lived through your emotional chapters, so they hesitate unless they feel there's real space for them in your life. These questions are subtle, simple, almost invisible, but they're her way of checking two things. Is there room for me, and is this man living with purpose? You can miss compliments, you can overlook body language, but if you miss these two questions, you miss the exact moment she's opening the door. And once that door closes, it rarely opens again. When a woman wants real closeness with an older man, not just friendly conversation, but emotional and physical connection, she tests it through two specific questions. These appear across cultures and backgrounds because they come directly from feminine psychology. Here they are. The first question, do you spend a lot of time alone? It sounds innocent, but it isn't. It's her way of asking, is there space for me in your world? Women phrase it in different ways. Do you usually go out alone? Are you more of a private person? Are you seeing anyone or just doing your own thing lately? This question isn't about loneliness, it's about access. She's already imagined herself somewhere in your life, and now she's checking if she can step into it. If she didn't feel anything, she wouldn't care how you spend your time. Most men answer literally, yeah, I'm alone a lot, or not really, depends. But a grounded man hears what's underneath. She's testing your openness. A better response stays calm, balanced, and open without sounding needy. Something like, I enjoy my space, but I'm always open to the right company, or I like my routines, but I'm open to someone who adds something meaningful. This shows openness without desperation, strength without distance, and that's exactly what she's looking for. When you respond like this, she feels possibility, and that naturally leads her to the second question, the deeper one. The second question, what are you looking for these days? This is never casual, it's not small talk, it's a woman exploring you as a potential partner. If she didn't feel anything, she wouldn't ask. It's too personal, too revealing. She might phrase it differently, what do you want at this stage of life? Or what are you focused on right now? Or what direction are you moving in? Through this, she's trying to understand your inner direction. Before a woman opens emotionally or physically, especially with a mature man, she needs to feel that he knows himself, that he has purpose, that he's not drifting or stuck in the past. This question helps her decide, is his life going somewhere I could be part of? Men who answer vaguely often break the moment. Saying things like, I'm just taking it day by day, or I'm not sure right now, signals something else to her, lack of direction. And women don't invest in men who drift. You don't need a long explanation, just clarity. Something like, I'm building a strong, simple life with the right people, or I'm looking for something real and natural, or I'm focused on meaningful experiences and genuine connection. These answers show movement, clarity, and purpose. They allow her to imagine herself in your world, and that's powerful, because what most men over 50 don't realize is this: women want a man who is alive on the inside, not just present physically, but emotionally awake. These two questions are deeply tied to attraction. Women don't test randomly, they test based on emotional readiness. When she asks if you're spending time alone, she's measuring openness. When she asks what you're looking for, she's measuring direction. A man who is open and purposeful creates emotional pull. He becomes someone worth moving toward. Women don't need perfection, they need clarity, and clarity creates safety, and safety creates desire. Picture a real moment. You're talking to a woman, maybe in a cafe, a bookstore, at a gathering, or even online. The conversation flows easily, there's a soft tension. She laughs a little more, she plays with her hair, her energy feels warm. Then she asks, "Do you spend a lot of time alone?" That's her first step toward you, her way of opening the door slightly. If you respond with presence, the connection grows.